Oh, yeah, we should watch this video about Trump saying that Hamas doesn't want a ceasefire.
Many people were hoping President Trump would be able to force Israel and Hamas to sign a ceasefire in much the same way he kind of muscled Israel and Iran into making a deal in June. However, it's now clear that's not what's happened. The president has largely adopted the Israeli viewpoint on the negotiations, which is that it's Hamas which is obstructing the deal.
Is there any footage of anyone from Hamas saying this? Because like they have internet access. The thing is, like, people from these organizations, if you want to call them terrorist organizations or you want to call them, you know, depending on your point of view, you know, you could call them freedom fighters. I mean, like the IRA were called a terrorist organization, right? Depending on your view, they were fighting for Irish independence. So I'm just putting that out there. You know, I see, not naming any names, but I see some countries, some superpowers, not naming anybody, just moving my mouse around in this general direction for no reason. I see the way they conduct themselves as quite terroristic, because they use terror as a means to get people to do what they want. They incite fear. They rule with an iron fist, say even their allies. If you don't do what we want, maybe there's going to be a coup. Maybe your democratically elected government is going to be expelled and overthrown, and a new leader elected. I don't know. Maybe somebody like Malcolm Fraser. Maybe somebody like, you know, Tony Abbott or Malcolm Turnbull. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there. I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah, it's really interesting in this day and age, right? Because people from like Hamas and Hezbollah and things like that, they can just put videos out on the internet. So like, unless I hear it from a primary source, why am I listening to Trump telling me that someone from Hamas is saying this? Where's the footage of someone from Hamas saying this? If I see someone from Hamas saying this, I'm more likely to believe it. Otherwise, I think you're just saying what, you know, the people that have Jeffrey Epstein's videos want you to say. I don't know, just putting it out there, just speculating, allegedly for entertainment purposes only.
Really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad. Are you done? And it got to be to a point where you're gonna have to finish the job. They really they asked for things. Don't forget, we got a lot of hostages out. So now we're down to the final hostages, and they know what happens after you get the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that.
The president says this is because Hamas is reluctant to release the remaining 20 living hostages it holds inside Gaza. He says once the group does so, it no longer has any bargaining chips and can expect to be killed. But Israel has already been killing the leaders of Hamas. It's killed all of the group's senior leadership inside Gaza, and one leader, Ismail Haniyeh, who was outside Gaza, who was actually in Iran at the time he was assassinated, presumably by Israel. So it's unclear what the president is basing that assessment on. He's basing that assessment on nobody asking questions and nobody pushing back, on just him pulling stuff out of his ass. I think that's the general vibe. That is my assessment. That will be regarded as being really ominous by both the people inside Gaza and the families in Israel who are hoping for a deal to see their hostage relatives returned. He says that they'll have to finish the job, they'll have to clean up. These are the kind of terms the president is using about resolving the conflict. And where does that leave the civilian population in Gaza? Well, according to all the aid agencies and the United Nations working there, in terrible straits. The humanitarian situation is being described regularly as a catastrophe. The food situation is being described as an acute shortage, with UN agencies saying 1/4 of Gaza's population, that's around 500,000. When you studied the Holocaust, they made a big point of analysing the language of genocide. Yeah. Clean up, job, dirty, problem. Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's very clear to anyone with a brain what's happening now. They're dehumanizing and objectifying the Palestinian people.
Yeah, they 100% are. They 100% are. They want this land cleansed. They want to annex Gaza, and then after this it'll be the West Bank, I guarantee you, and then it will be an expansion and the implementation of the greater Israel plan. Unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen, and unless the American empire falls very, very, very soon, America will also help facilitate that, unfortunately. And look, that's what Trump's doing right now. He's facilitating this. He's facilitating this by saying, well, Hamas aren't playing ball. Hamas won't do this. Hamas won't do that. So there's no choice but for me to continue to enable Israel in killing a population, of killing a people. And it 100% is a genocide, and who can push back against America? Who has the power to push back against America? Because that's what it is. Israel, it would be very, very, very easy for world governments to get together and bring down. The thing is, they are 100% backed in a way that America backs no other nation, and it's so bizarre. And again, I think it comes back to Epstein and operatives like him. Not just Epstein. Epstein's just the one we know about. Mossad operatives would be everywhere in the US collecting these dirt files on everybody. They've got everybody by the balls. All the boobs, you know. It depends whatever your particular gender's sensitive bits are. They've got you by them. If you have any type of economic power, political power, actors and actresses and musicians as well, if you have any type of cultural power, any type of social capital, they'll have you as well. And this is how Israel's able to control the world's singular superpowers and bullies, because they have all of these people with any type of capital or any type of power, regardless of it is, irrespective of what, you know, what type of captains of the industries they happen to be in. Like, yeah. And unfortunately, like, I don't know what we do at this stage. I don't know what we do at this stage. I think we really have to step up diplomatic pressure. All of America's allies, or so-called allies, I mean, America doesn't have any friends really. They just have people that they bully. Yeah, we need to expel Israeli diplomatic staff, and we need to start, you know, sending as stronger messages as we can, sanctions, embassy closures, consulate closures. Yeah, and just stop showing any type of appeasement of the Israeli state. Yeah, get fucked. Basically, get fucked. Pull your head in. Like, I get that, like, when you are a government, you do need to talk to, you know, nation states with some degree of decorum and some degree of respect. But I think you lose that respect, and I think you lose the privilege of civil discourse as a nation when you are committing a genocide and you are starving a people, and you obviously have plans to cleanse that population's land of the people so that you can take it for your own people because of, like, a very racist, theocratic ideology that your country was founded on, being the chosen people. I mean, if that's like not eugenics in the first place, if that's not like some type of racial supremacy hiding behind religion, I don't know, you know, what is. We need to step up pressure. We really do. It's starting to, we're going to cross the precipice soon. We're going to cross the line, the point of no return, where we won't be able to put the genie back in the bottle. You know, we won't be able to close the floodgates. Once we hit like that point of critical mass, there's no saving the Palestinian people. You know, enough people have already died. If we want to have the Palestinian population recover and be able to, you know, survive well into the future, like, that point is pretty much now, and we have to step up and we have to do something.
A ceasefire would allow them to bring in the thousands of trucks full of food and other essential items that sit just outside Gaza, and to be able to properly start looking after the population in there. Allowing food to be dropped in small volumes to Gaza isn't going to ease the hunger crisis.
That makes my heart hurt so much, just seeing the packets of nappies, just knowing that there's little babies starving. It's just, I mean, obviously, you know, anybody starving is horrific, but just like little babies, they're literally like the most innocent little things. It's so sad.
Which Israel denies is happening, by the way. It says there is enough food inside Gaza to feed the population. It's blaming the United Nations for not picking up that food. However, the UN says the two main reasons it can't pick up and distribute the food at the volumes required is, one, Israel's ongoing restrictions and intense offensive in many parts of Gaza.
They know what they're doing. They know that distributing the food is a logistical impracticality, like impossibility. It's a logistical impossibility to distribute that aid. And they know it is because they have made it a logistical impossibility. Everything that they're doing is to deny the Palestinian people aid. Like, stop speaking out of both sides of your fucking face, Israel. Fucking hell. God, I wish they were just one person so I could go and freaking uppercut them. Fucking cut it out.
And two, because Israel simply is not allowing it the kind of access and movement that it needs to get that food and distribute it properly. So the situation we're seeing now is the complete breakdown of the ceasefire process and any hope of immediate and immense relief that the population of Gaza needs has vanished.
All right, well, that was incredibly sad and frustrating, but it's happening, and obviously there's nothing that we can do. That's the other thing, like, right, I know so many people that donate money, you know, regularly, semi-regularly to Palestinian aid, but then what happens? They can't get the aid to the people that need it. It's like there's literally, it's so horrible. Like, there's literally nothing that any of us can do. There's literally nothing that any of us can do, and it's so heartbreaking, and it's so sad, and so freaking frustrating. I don't know. I'm very, very, very anti-war, but this is one time I would be happy for the Australian Defence Force to be deployed. I would be happy to get the band back together, right? Let's get the Anzacs, let's get the Canadians, let's get the English, you know, let's get the United Kingdom, let's get the Irish, let's get all of our armies together and fucking storm the beaches of fucking Gaza. Let's fucking go to deliver aid. And if we have to, you know, if we have to use force against the people trying to stop that happening, then I guess that's what we have to do. I don't know. I just don't see another fucking option. Honestly, I can't. This is so fucking ridiculous. Canadians know a thing or two about war crimes. Well, not going to comment on my opinions about Canadians. I'll keep it to myself just for tonight, because I can only go on so many rants a night, guys. Like, you know, I already have a sore throat. I've got to